Hi, I am Ravi Kumar. In this video, we will see the meaning of compounding and why we are going for the compounding process and what are the applications of compounding. In compounding, we are doing both compression and expansion of the signal. So that combined process of compression and expansion is called compounding. Observe this original signal here, which is having very less amplitude at these points here, and these points is having somewhat higher amplitudes than these points. Rather than directly transferring this signal, if you increase the amplitude at this portion, the starting portion, and transferring this signal, then we have some advantages. So we will see what is advantages. And increasing of amplitude at these points, increasing of amplitude at this low amplitude or weak signal points is nothing but the compression. So this is the original signal and this is the signal after compression. We are saying that we are increasing the amplitude at weak signals or low amplitude portions, but we are calling the term as a compression. That is, here actually what we are compressing is, observe here, so this is the maximum amplitude and this is the minimum amplitude. The ratio of maximum to minimum amplitude is, let us consider some value. Now after doing the compression process, that is after increasing the amplitude at these low or weak signal regions, the difference between the maximum amplitude and the minimum amplitude, consider this upper part now here, the difference between the maximum amplitude and the minimum amplitude is going to be reducing here. That is, the ratio of maximum amplitude to the minimum amplitude here is lesser than the ratio of maximum amplitude from here to here in this case. See, that is nothing but compression. Generally what we are doing here, we are increasing the amplitudes at low or weak signal regions. It is nothing but compression. But why we are calling this one as a compression? Here we are reducing the dynamic range here. Dynamic range is nothing but the ratio of maximum amplitude to the minimum amplitude. So that's why we are saying what this one as a compression. Now with this knowledge, we will see the compounding process. See, this is the compression expansion curves here. See, on x-axis we have taken the input and y-axis is the output. So x-axis is, let us consider it is 0.1 is the input amplitude. But this 0.1 volt is converting to 0.5 volts, let us consider here. It is nothing but the compression process. In the compression process, what we are doing, the weak signals or low voltage signals are going to be amplifying or increasing the amplitude of those signals. Suppose it is 0.5, it is increasing as 0.8, let us consider here. Remember, this is 0.1, 0.5, this is the normalized values, input and outputs here. But you understand the thing here, that is that 0.1 factor, but it is increasing to 0.5 factor in the output here. So like this, if the value is around 1, that is the maximum values, we are approximately keeping the same values here. So this process of increasing the amplitudes at weak signals and maintaining the same values at the highest values. So this is the graph here. So like this you are going to increasing. This is the actual linear, this dotted line is the linear scale, that is 0.5 input, 0.5 output means this is the line, this is the point actually. But here for 0.5 input, it is 0.8 here. So that's why the curve is shifted like this. Now the question is, what is the circuit we require to convert this 0.5 to 0.5 scale, this 0.5 to 0.8 scale. Observe this graph, this is the compression. So this one, this is the compression. This one and this one in the negative side. This is the negative side and this is the positive side. So to get this behavior, we use the logarithmic function, because this is nothing but a represents like a logarithmic graph here. So logarithmic mathematical representation is implemented in the circuit to obtain this type of graph here. Now after compression here, we have transmitted the signal, and while receiving, we have to receive the actual signal, that is we have to receive the lower amplitudes at lower regions and higher amplitudes at higher regions. So that's why we have to do the inverse process here for the compression, that is the expansion here. So whatever the voltage we have increased here, so the same thing here we have decreased and it is given to the receiver. so that the signal cannot be altered here. Now we will see what is the advantage of doing this one. Generally, the channels are having limited dynamic range. What is the meaning of limited dynamic range? It can process only certain amplitudes to certain amplitudes only. Let us consider the microphone or the mic what we are using in the some conference hall like that. So that mic will respond with a very small dynamic range. That is, maybe it can respond from plus 3 volts to, let us consider, plus 5 volts. But the speaker can respond, but the speaker can talk from very low voltage, that is some 0.5 voltage to, let us consider. That is, the large dynamic range signals spoken by the person can be easily transmitted through small dynamic range channel through this compression process. So that is, in wireless communication or telephone communication, this compounding process is very useful here. Now, these are the main advantages. First one is for better SNR at lower bit rates, and the second one is to improve the SNR of weak signals. If the signal amplitude is very less, then the effect of noise or signal to noise ratio at those points are going to be less here. Now what we are doing, we are increasing the signal amplitude at the weak signal points such that the signal to noise ratio is going to be increasing. So by using compression process, we are able to improve the signal to noise ratio for weak signals. And observe this one here, another important advantage. The same SNR should be maintained with low bit rate. That is, while quantizing, you can quantize with less number of levels and you can transmit with 8 bits only rather than 16 bits, but you can maintain the same SNR here. But because that low amplitude signal is going to be increasing means the dynamic range value is going to be decreasing such that you can take the minimum number of levels for effective transfer of the signal in the quantization process. Now we will see the complete block diagram for the compounding process. Here compounding is nothing but non-uniform quantization. Why? Because here for low amplitude signals we are taking quantization levels, more number of levels. For high amplitude signals we are taking quantization levels with less quantization levels. So that is, the actual analog signal is passed through compression, wherein the weak signals or low amplitude signals are going to be increasing, and that should be given to the quantizer here, uniform quantizer. Observe here, non-uniform quantizer can be obtained by using compression, expansion, uniform quantizer here. So uniform quantizer is applied on the compressed signal. So this is the compression, you know this one, graph for compression, and that output of that uniform quantizer is again giving to the expansion at the receiver such that the same analog signal can be retained at the receiver output. Thank you.